guys, Ralph here. Welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness on this fabulous Friday here in Connecticut. I always loved Friday. Even in retirement, I love Friday. Why? Because every day's a Friday when you're retired, man. It's just a beautiful thing. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail. Strength. Now, I'm not talking power in the sound. I'm talking about how strength, physical strength, PNF, hyperradiation, all that sort of stuff pertains to true power and how we make the sound. Okay? A little bit different. I've never done this before. Well, I may have alluded to it. Okay? But anyway, let me honk a little bit and we'll talk about strength. Now, after an hour, not bad. Not bad at all. Why do you think I think life is great? Because I don't sweat the chops. I just have a blast playing the trumpet. All by myself. Except for you. Anyway, strength, internal strength. Guys, we've all heard... Okay. The picture of Mel Broyles, he was a big guy. Big guy. He was taller than me. He was well over 6 feet tall, maybe 6'1". Very broad shoulders, huge hands. I mean, a very, very big guy. And he was probably, soup to nuts, the strongest player I ever heard. Okay? Could caress the baby, could do it all. Okay? Maurice, very, very strong. Adolf Scherbaum. Very, very strong. Very, very strong. Lynn Nicholson. Very, very physically strong. Cat Anderson. Very, very physically strong. Now, at the same time, we had idols. Louis Armstrong, for one, that you could knock over with a feather. All right? Now, where does the actual strength? Now, I've told you many times, we do not overpower the trumpet. We don't in a physical way. Stan Mark did that. Now, I love Stan Mark. I mean, what a great lead player for Maynard for many, many years. But the reason I use him as sort of a whipping boy in this is everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. He overpowered the trumpet. He overblew pressure, whatnot, and he couldn't, from what I could tell, I would imagine he couldn't play second trumpet in the brass quintet. See what I'm saying? It works for some things, but it doesn't for others. Now, all of these great players, guys, if you don't think they were internally, physically strong, you don't know. Now, I'm going to go to the other end of the spectrum. About 6 to 8 months, I wasn't keeping track, before Jerry passed, his doctor told him to stop playing the trumpet. Why? Because his heart wasn't strong enough. Quote, his heart wasn't strong enough. So guys, the notes, now I say many times, and I stand by it, that was just so easy. I was barely holding the horn. All I'm doing is, okay? I stand by it. It was very, very easy on my chops. But guys, all this kettlebell, all this SFE, and all this hyperradiation, and every single thing that we talk about, guys, you're working to play E's, F, G's, A flats, triple C's. You are working to do that. These are physically strong guys. Now, basically, it ends up, manifests itself in your power. Okay? As I've said before, and I say with disdain, so many of these yahoos on the internet are little, tiny little short guys, okay, that play with the tiniest little sound. Oh yeah, they play double C's, great, if that's what you want to sound like. You see what I'm saying? The power is really where it manifests. You can get the range if you play it squeak and squawk. Okay? How many times have I said, yeah, put him in the middle of a section with Lynn Nicholson, Stan Mark, and Nick Drazi, you wouldn't hear a note they said. Or note they said. Note they played. You wouldn't hear a note. That's where the internal compression comes in. Okay? Now, Lynn Nicholson, I know for a fact, is very, very into physical culture. Yoga. Okay? Which is more of what we're talking about here, as opposed to brute strength. Okay? But running, cycling, yoga, no, he's very, very strong. Cat Anderson, you don't think he's strong? Now, he had more power than Clark Terry. And Clark Terry had wonderful chops. Didn't like his mouthpiece and everything. Who do you think was physically stronger? Yeah, of course, Cat Anderson was. Sherbaum, very, very strong guy. Not Margolin. The guy, jeez. The Russian guy that did kettlebell and played the Alpine Symphony, like his big, drowned out the, what's his name? Was it Margolin? Doesn't matter. Okay, it'll come to me. But I've done videos on that. Guys, he was a kettlebell guy. I guarantee you could pick me up and throw me across the room. Mel Broyles smoked cigarettes in the whole 9 yards. He eventually stopped. Very, very strong guy. Physically strong. Now, through hyperradiation, once again, we are taking the stress off the muscle that can't take the stress, and through radiating it through the rest of the body to take the stress off the lips and transfer it to muscles that can take the stress. Okay? Now, this really has nothing to do with being able to run, a 5-minute mile, which I can still do, by the way. Just throwing that in there. Yeah, I'm beating my chest every now and then. But guys, physical strength does have something to do with it. It's not brute strength. It is not. That's not the way you go about this. Not the way. Guys, if that were the case, that you needed brute strength, Maurice Andre would not be probably the greatest trumpet player that ever lived. Because he was a hopeless alcoholic. And, as far as a kettlebell, I guarantee you, a 35-pound kettlebell, he couldn't pick it up, much less do 300 swings with it. So it's not brute strength, but it is being fit enough to take that strain off your lips and transfer it to the rest of your body. And what's the best way to do it? Kettlebells, and certainly 1,000% SFE. SFE, strength, flexibility, endurance, or PNF, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. I designed myself 39 exercises that I use with all my athletes. And guys, if my pitchers and all my runners and all my cyclists and everything are doing what they're supposed to, this is all the strength you need. And you create it yourself without a kettlebell or weight. Doc, at the end of his life, throughout his career, guys, he barely weighed 150 pounds, and he's a tiny little thing. But when he started dissipating towards the end of his career, 3-5 years before he retired, what was he doing? He was in the gym lifting weights, doing planks, doing leg presses. Guys, that's what you need. Now, he wasn't building up the guns. No, he was doing core strength. And it prolonged his career immeasurably. Guys, at my age, Harry James was dead at that age. Maurice Andre, a shell of himself, of his former self at my age. It does have something to do with it. It's not brute strength because there were so many great players that Maurice Andre, I just said, couldn't pick up a 35-pound kettlebell with two hands. Okay? But this gives you the power, this gives you the endurance to take the strain off the vibrating lips or off your throwing arm, whatever the case may be, and transfer it to the muscle groups that can do it more easily. All right? All right, guys. Have a great weekend. I'm going to. And we'll talk again on Monday. Love you all. Ooh, I'm going to be putting up a lot of books over the weekend. Okay, that's my goal this weekend, to get my entire library up there. And guys, it's all there for you. Get them all. Get them all. Love you all, guys.